Whoa! What's happening? What's happening? It is time. It is time.
Look, second person here.
Hey, Candy Thunder's the second person here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Welcome everyone. Good to see you here today. Welcome to this Wednesday live. Caden Thunder's here too. First to comment. Look at you. Greetings to you as well. Greetings. What's up, Quiet Minded? Good to see you there as well. Let me get this thing a little bit closer. Crystal, thank you so much for the share. Greatly appreciate that. Michigan Gems, good to see you. Hello. Kimberly P. Lady Stormfly Mercy says the YouTube. Lady Stormfly OG Netflix. Favorite streaming platform. And when I hear that, or when I heard that at first, streaming service, I'm like, oh, you mean like to live stream? No. To watch shows. To watch the shows. Candy Thunder is in chat, everybody. Crystal says, lots of good stuff on Peacock. Kayla, good to see you there. Kimberly P. and Sarah and Wade, thanks for the shares there. Kat Renner Leadham, thank you for the share there as well. Nicole with the share, thank you so much. SOS, thank you for the share. Ellen's in here. Fane is in here. Caden Thunder says Max. Oh yeah, HBO Max. Now just Max. Sarah S. officially with the share. Darla, Fane, Kat, Rebecca with the share there as well. Greatly appreciate that. Thanks so much. Greatly appreciate it. Michelle Heather, Elise Shinryoda, Mama Bear, Sarah Sherwood Burrow, Fane, Kristen Fleury Stevens, Lady Stormfly Rebecca Elise, the Kale Yard Gardener, Kale Jaworski, Mama Bear, Dylan Sprague, the Kale Yard Gardener again with some gifts there. We're going for lightning bolts right now. 3K of them to get Candy Thunder up here. We're at 181. We have a goal of 600 likes today. 600 likes. Yep, going for bolts. Going for bolts, Fane. Hey, Clippers Love finally caught alive. Heck yeah. Awesome. Crystalita with the share there. Thanks so much. And Dusty but never dirty. That's right. That's right. Alejandra, Hulu, Netflix, Paramount. We kind of bounce around. You know what? I have a love-hate relationship with Hulu. I feel like their UX design is garbage. Their user interface, like they have several just unfriendly features on there. Like when it skips to the next episode, it skips to wherever you left off on the next episode, the last time you watched that episode. So we catch like it skips to the very end of the next Schitt's Creek episode right now, and it just pisses me off. Pisses me right off. Steph Lingenfelder, thanks so much for the share there. Greatly appreciate it. Bunny, Michelle Heather, Mama Bear, Mama Cat, Candy Thunder with some bolts there too. Megan Carroll, Dee Doo, Katisi, welcome to the Got Check It fam. Mama Cat, Jane, Ann M. Bracker, Fane, Steph, Tony Spark, Diana Galvin, Andromeda Amber, Mama Bear, Shin Riolda, thank you all so much. Bernari, see you there as well. Steph, Candy Thunder, are you jumping in and saying something here?
Yeah, you can't hear me because you didn't look at me when I spoke. But I was going to tell you that. I was going to tell you that I saw this thing on Reddit. It said something about
You'll speak up a little bit.
Clearing the cache before you rewatch a show on Hulu will stop that.
Okay. I don't know how we clear the cache on the Hulu app on the TV, but there's got to be a way.
I'm just the messenger.
There's got to be a way. We'll figure it out. What a pain in the ass to have to do that, though. Hulu's got a bunch of stuff that's just funky. Just funky. Just funky. Reading Sweet Pea, you're rewatching Schitt's Creek? We are too. We are too. I think we're... Are we season 1 still? Schitt's Creek? We're on season 2 now. There we go. You have to clear it through a browser? That's annoying. Crystal, yeah, see? Hulu, get your shit together. Get your shit together, Hulu. My goodness. Bernari, Mrs. Alice, Amanda Cherie, Katisi, Chris, Wayward, Michelle, Heather, dropping big bolts there. Fane as well. Mama Bear, Amanda, Bunny, Amanda again there, Anna Hartman, Amber L. Hickey, Coral, Overkill Mill, Jill, Amber again, Janine, Jane, Lady Stormfly. Heck yes. Rock and roll. Rewatching Supernatural. We haven't got into it. I know Caden Thunder's a big Supernatural fan. Heck yeah, go Chiefs, Adam. I can't wait to get back into it. We're already halfway through the bulk goal here to get Candy Thunder up here. Oh no. Fane, my shirt is making it hard to read the comments. I'm sorry. Yeah. I typically stay away from lighter colored things generally, but it turned winter here again yesterday and today, so I've got a sweater on. It's March 27th and I'm wearing a freaking sweater. Apple TV has Severance, which is probably your favorite show, Bev. Opening day for the Diamondbacks tomorrow. Heyo. Miss Pamela L, Jane, Eliza, Ashley T, Steph, Terry, Jane, Robin Hazen, thanks so much, greatly appreciate it. Luna Rose, happy gosh-eckin' birthday to you. We should have a happy birthday emotes for you VIP members. Also, there might be some extra emotes in there. I'm not sure if they've approved them to show up in chat yet, but we added some new ones. We added some new emotes for you. April in Nebraska, it's cold and snowy. It's cold here too. It's, what is it right now? I know it's cold. It says 52. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Don't believe that. Hey, look, there they are. There come the new emotes. Look at that. We got the Delulu rocking. We got the Moira rocking. We got Words Are Hard. We've got Bizzo, which we ended up voting internally on to not use Hozo because, you know, the ho part of that might be offensive to someone. So Bizzo. We've got Bizzo as the female version. We've got brooms. We have the broom emotes too. Look at this new stuff. I hope you guys like them. Utah's all messed up. You went from the 60s last week back down to snowing this week. That sounds about right. Hey, Jetta, good to see you there. Katisi with the brooms. Heck yes. You got some new ones. Heck yes. All right, let's go ahead and get started here, shall we? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to this Wednesday TikTok Live. Coming up, we have stories about brozos not sharing food, family holiday vacation drama, spouses setting allowances, ruined delivery room experiences, wedding day scandals, dinner party drama, jealous siblings, cake stories, and a spicy best of Redditor update story. You guys hit the bolt goal? Look at this. Look at that. You done hit it already. Let's go ahead and bounce into that real quick. What happened? Oh, there it goes. Music stopped for a second, then it jumped back in. Bunny C. Ann leading the board on our first goal here. Heck yes. Overkill Mill in the number 2 spot. Amanda Cherie, Michelle Heather, Jane Owen, Mrs. Alice, Crashly Nicole, Lady Stormfly, Fane 13, Anise Moon, Candy Thunder, Elise Newman, Sklingenfelter, TKP Nurse, Katisi, Tony Spark, Dylan Sprague, Vernari. Then we have Coral, Miss Pamela L, Anna Hartman. We've got Gray, DWJOZ. OZ0C? Gray. We're going to say Gray. Amber L. Hickey, Sarah Bella, Eliza Marie, Fussy Turtle, the Kaylee Gardener, or the Kale Yard Gardener, and Justina. Thank you guys so much for helping us hit that. We're going to get the next one set up, but you've unlocked Candy Thunder. Candy Thunder. Okay, the next one is going to unlock a Tony Spark appearance and a cake story. If I could read, this would be easier. Tony Spark. All right, let's go and do it right off the rip. Let's get Candy Thunder up here, folks. Let's get her up here. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Candy Thunder.
Oh, I thought you were.
Oh, I didn't do the intro. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Okay, so the mic is positioned a little bit differently now. You should be able to just speak this direction, and it should pick you up a little bit easier.
I didn't even realize that the mic had changed until right this very moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying out a different mic position. We'll see how well it works.
Ellen.
How you doing?
I know it's weird because normally it's after the first story, and I'm like, I don't have any.
You don't have any thoughts to share?
I don't have any thoughts to share.
Well, you've at least skimmed through the stories that we have today, right? I know Tony and Caden orchestrate the stories for today, but you've skimmed through them. What do you think of the stories that we have?
They're good. I actually found a couple of them as well. I sent them to Tony, so
nice.
They're good. Oh, thank you, Ellen. They didn't make the cut. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Yes, I was actually going to say, Anne, I have so many funny Navy stories that I don't even know where to start. But yesterday, something amazing happened, and that was Navy said that I was her favorite. She's been a daddy's girl since day one, and the look of shock on his face. I worked my ass off to get to that position, to be number one in Navy's books, but also it's a lot. A lot of pressure to handle because Navy's a lot.
Navy is a lot. You know, the funny part, timing wise, was that I hadn't been home very long. I'd just gotten home. I'd been there for a few minutes, maybe, I think. And and I was talking to Candy Thunder, and Navy has this kind of possessive thing where especially if I first get home, it's like nobody else is allowed to talk to me. She wants daddy all to herself. Well, Candy Thunder and I are talking, and she looks at Candy Thunder and says, "No, don't talk to my daddy." And I was like, "Hey."
Yeah, but now I realize that that's because she wanted me to talk to her.
Yeah,
it wasn't about you. It had nothing to do with you. I'm in the number one spot.
I was like, "Hey, don't be like that." And then she turns to mommy and grabs her leg and goes, "Mommy's my favorite." And I'm just like,
listen, I carried this giant baby for a long time, and I need the number one spot. No, it's only because she was sick, and then spring break, and I was home for the majority of that because he's had a lot going on with the studio and like with our agency, and so I had to stay home with her. And it was so I got bumped up. I'll be back down. Don't worry, he's staying home tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be back down to number 2. It'll be all good.
The Navy-isms here lately have been that's not good choices. She says that to other people.
Yeah, she told that to Caden the other day about something he had on his desk. She also thinks that up is down. So there is no down. It's just everything is up. Like roll my window up means roll my window down.
Push my sleeves up means pull them down.
Yes.
It's up is down. Literally up is down.
Yeah. Someone said she's lucky to have 2 parents that cherish her so much. And that's true. Like, I feel like with Navy, like having one later in life, like in your 20s, it's like you realize you're stressed, you're running at life. But in your 30s, I feel like it's just like, you know how fast it goes, and
it doesn't make it any less stressful.
No, but you try to, like, you understand it more. You're not as selfish in your 30s.
You have more context. We have more context to be able to enjoy and like cherish more of it, but it's still.
We screwed up the first 4, but Navy should be good to go. I'm just kidding.
I don't think that's true at all. Really yeah. I don't think that's true at all.
I'm kidding. They know that I'm kidding. Okay. Bye, guys. Enjoy the first story.
Candy Thunder, ladies and gentlemen. All the love.
I've offended everyone.
You've offended everyone. My job is to get up here, offend people, and walk off cam. That's what I do. Whatever. That's not true at all. Okay, so we've got a goal of 2K finger hearts to get Tony Spark and a cake story up here. Now, a couple of notes before we dive into our first story here. If you have not heard about it yet, the latest episode of the Dusty Thunder podcast with guest Beyond Beautiful, another TikTok creator who does AITA stories, other Reddit stories, and more, is out now on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the rest. Definitely go check that out. We did feature a couple snippet stories on TikTok posts from that podcast, so you get a little bit of a sampling of it there, but there's so much more in that podcast. Definitely recommend you go check it out. Also, you can still purchase your copy of Piano Man on Amazon. Piano Man is the book that I wrote. It is a fictional story, and there are still a few signed copies available in the TikTok shop, including a few hardcovers, so they're still there. A reminder to keep chat positive and respectful. Of course, everybody is allowed to have their own opinion, and we don't all have to agree. I don't expect us to, but it costs nothing to be respectful and to DFHB, and don't spoil or you'll get your butt muted. Cool. Let's rock and roll. Let's rock and let's roll. Before we get into that, Grey Dragon Fox Gaming, Rebecca, Amanda, welcome to the Gosh Hackett fam. Glad to have you. Tony Spark with a finger heart there. Kayla, subscribe too. Welcome to the Gosh Hackett fam. Mad Hatter Gal. I hope your doggo does well today. I know your dog is in for surgery today, so hope the doggo does well. Mama Joe, Dana Mac, Prep Girl, Aurora, thank you guys so much. Steph, I see you there as well. Little Red Corvette Girl, Fane, you guys are awesome. Terry Peters, Loretta Ayers, Candy Thunder, Amberella Hickey, Rebecca, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. Payne, thanks for the share there. Overkill, Tina, Time Waster 666. Thank you so much for the shares. All right, let's dive right in. The first story that we are going to talk about today. Oh, wait a second. I forgot. Get out your brooms.
It's about to get
and we can actually do that with emotes now. We can actually get out emotes for the brooms thing here. Alex is the Dragon. Thanks for the share there. Greatly appreciate that. Yep, all the vibes out to your doggo, Matt Hatter. All the vibes. Okay, first story we have is a follower submission, and it is titled, "Is he the brozo for refusing to share his food?" Joey doesn't share food. We've said that a few times recently on stories. I, female 39, and my husband, male 41, have been together for 17 years and married for 13. Money has been super tight. I have been working extra hours to get caught up on past due bills to avoid things literally being shut off or repossessed. A little backstory, my husband worked 2 jobs starting in the summer of 2021. One as a local truck driver, and the other he launched his business, which is seasonal. In March of 2023, we decided the business was going well enough for him to leave the truck driving and take over just the self-employment job. Side note, we both work a self-employed job, and I have not yet given up my career, nor do I plan to, mostly due to benefits. Fast forward, and the winter came, which is very slow, if not a standstill for the home business, and he needed to have knee surgery. He tried to go back to work after about 3 weeks at his former employer, but they only needed a little help, so he was only getting a couple of days of work back per week, never clearing much of a paycheck. It has been tight, to say the least. The light is at the end of the tunnel, business is picking back up, and we are getting somewhat caught up, but are definitely not out of the woods. I am the more financially responsible one, though not perfect, but he lives by, I'll just pay that with the next check, and it has gotten us into trouble so many times. He has had to borrow money from his parents, his sister, and my parents. I get frustrated with him rescuing him, especially when I know if he just hadn't eaten fast food several times that week, we would have had the money. This week, we had just enough money to set back to fund our next event and no extra. We also had to travel for my daughter's state tournament a couple of hours from home. His parents were coming separately. I knew he would want to eat out with them, and so to save a fight, I said, let's eat breakfast and lunch at home, and then we can go to a cheaper restaurant, order water, not soda, no extras, just an entree, and aim to spend as little as possible. When we made it to the tournament, there was an unexpected parking fee, and the entry fee had doubled last year's rate, and we were already out $45 just to attend. After the tournament, his dad picked a restaurant, and it wasn't exactly cheap. I decided that I would help my son order, and the kids' menu was relatively reasonable, and then reminded him we were drinking water. I chose to not eat, as I knew we would be home in 2 more hours and could eat there. My husband chose a shrimp dinner plate, which was about $10 higher than the other options, and ordered a soda after our discussions. I shot him a look, but he didn't change his mind, and I didn't want to look like an asshole in front of his parents. His mom offered me her salad. I politely declined. My husband knows I will not eat seafood, so splitting a plate was not an option at this point. It was my own choice not to eat, and I don't really blame him for that. But what happened next baffles me. We got in the truck to leave, and there was a half-empty can of Dorito mini chips. I was so excited because at this point my stomach was starving from smelling everyone else's food. I picked it up and started to munch on it, and he said, "Please don't eat all those." I'm going to do this first, and then we're going to do this. Candy Thunder, would you mind kill that heat? At this point, I had it. I tossed the can in the back seat, put in one of my earbuds, and made the trip home. He reiterated twice, "I didn't say you couldn't eat any, just don't eat all of them." When we had some time to chat that evening, I asked if we could talk. I was calm and simply told him it hurt my feelings that he wouldn't just let me have the can of chips. We went round and round, and he just kept turning the conversation, telling me he didn't want me finishing them off. No matter how I tried to point it out, he just could not understand why I was upset. I stood there in tears, trying to be heard, and he could not apologize or even recognize that he had hurt me. Then when he left this morning, he left the can of Doritos on the table for me. Like, now you want to give them to me. It's a little too late. I'm seriously already wrestling with how he treats me, and this just feels like the straw that will break the camel's back. Is he the brozo, or am I overreacting? No, he's definitely the brozo for this. I think we've got to dissect it a little bit, but we can safely say at this point that yes, he is absolutely the brozo for refusing to share his food, and even more so, not just his food, but a freaking can of mini Doritos that was in his car. Wasn't his plate at dinner, which he intentionally chose something that he knows that you can't eat, so he was not planning on sharing that with you at all. He knows why you didn't order a meal, because you were trying to save money for you guys. And then he went and he's like, "Oh, I can balance this out. I'll order something more expensive that I know she won't eat." And then when she gets in the car, clearly starving, I'm gonna lash her for munching on my chips that I have in the vehicle. Unfortunately, OP, it sounds like you're the only one interested in a solution. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, you're going to keep banging your head against a brick wall here, because it is going to be, it's a cycle. You're going to keep running into this cycle. So either you're going to have to get to a point where you proactively kind of plan lunches ahead for him, plan meals ahead for him. And I'm not talking about this specific instance. I'm talking about in general, right? It sounds like, he wants to get the fast food all the time, and that's what is causing some pain here. Being proactive and getting, like, the adult Lunchables are actually really good. Getting something that he will actually eat for lunch that can save you guys some money, and arming him with that ahead of time is a great idea. But you guys have to be on the same page. He has to actually want to do it, or then you're going to buy these things to proactively try to give him another option, and he's not going to eat that, or he's going to eat that and get fast food too, and then you're going to be out even more money. It has to get reined in at some point here. There has to be some kind of effort to be able to fix things, because right now, if the choice is having no money at all and getting fast food, or having a little bit of money and eating a little bit cheaper, I think if you had that choice in front of him, I feel like he would make the right choice. But he's looking at this as when I'm out running around during the day, I'm going to grab this food. This $10 meal is not going to be the end of the world for us. Well, maybe not, but that $10 meal, 5 days a week, 4 weeks out of the month, 52 weeks out of the year, it definitely does add up. So creating a budget together is probably a good idea. Really talking about trying to control these and figuring out what are some healthy alternatives. And I don't mean healthy food, but like healthy habit wise. What are some alternatives that he would actually entertain? This just needs to be a conversation. And I know right now he probably feels like he's being parented. He's being controlled. He's being told what not to do. And he's bucking against that clearly. So maybe if you change your approach here and instead of trying to tell him what not to do, get his feedback on the front end and try to make a decision together about how to overcome this and how to not be in this position again and again and again. Maybe he'll have more buy-in. Maybe he'll be more prone to actually follow this system if it's not one that's being imposed on him, if it's one that he helps come up with. It's worth a shot. In this instance, though, absolutely, he was the brozo. Absolutely, you are NTA here. And it sucks. It sucks. And if you put all of these actions of his in context and said, look, you won't listen to me about not eating fast food. We knew we had X amount of money and we were going to have to eat cheap out at this dinner anyway. I chose not to eat to try to save us more money because we already had to pay more to get into the freaking event. Then you chose a more expensive meal. You chose to pay $4 for a freaking soda. Like what? Why would you make these decisions? Knowing that they have a deeper impact on our entire family. Why? Maybe have that conversation. Maybe. And Jenny says, Dusty, this man is too dense. If it was a sensible man, then yes, that would work. I think even people who we may perceive to be more dense, if you involve them early in the process and you ask them to help come up with solutions, they're going to be more likely to take part in those solutions.
I'm just going to be really real for this guy's an inconsiderate asshole because he got the one meal that he got was something that she couldn't eat.
Right.
He got seafood and she hates seafood. So he did it on purpose. Like what kind of childish BS? Like, and then tells her not to eat his chips.
Yeah.
He's not just, I don't think there's any logic is going to work on this guy.
It might not, but I mean, what's the alternative? Divorce?
I think he's made it quite clear that he has no respect for this woman.
I agree.
You would, if there was a choice to be made on who was going to go hungry in our family, you would fall on that sword
100%.
100 times.
100%. 100%. Now, as we look at what are the options moving forward here, I feel like the only two options you have are you have a serious conversation about this, but include him in it, because imposing rules on him to this point, he's bucking against and he doesn't give a shit about. And yes, he's acting completely inconsiderate here. So either you try to include him on this to get him to see what he's doing and how much pain it's actually causing, and maybe he still doesn't give a shit, but it's at least like one last ditch effort. But you know, like destroying or throwing a relationship away, I guess he's choosing to do that with his actions here. It's not her making the choice. It's him making the choice repeatedly.
Yeah, at this point, they don't even have a relationship. I mean, what is she getting out of the relationship? Because it's
some chip crumbs.
An empty belly is what it just sounds like.
some
That's all she's
crumbs.
getting. And having to parent another child. Like at this point, she's better off single and managing her own finances and letting him flounder on his own.
Right. Yeah. And I hate to jump straight there. Obviously, hate to jump straight to divorce or them splitting up. I feel like most things are fixable, right? If both parties are willing to fix them, if they're willing to do the work. He may not be. And yeah, they have a conversation about this and try to both come up with a solution together because he has no interest in rules that are being imposed on him or counseling. The same kind of thing gets accomplished there, or this whole thing falls apart. I mean, those are the options that are in front of you here, but you, OP, are going to live in this frustration phase. Do you feel like resentment's already there? So I guess frustration and resentment, and eventually you're going to be indifferent to this Jack Weasel because he just keeps acting this way and doesn't care for you or your family at all, which sucks. It is when you become a parent, and I feel particularly strong about this, but there are many, many, many occasions where you might have a selfish tendency or have a default reaction to do something selfish, like order the more expensive meal. But once you're a parent, you don't get to put yourself first anymore. And he's still putting himself first in their family, and you don't get to do that anymore. So he's failing on several fronts here. By the way, this is a follower submission. OP, do you happen to be in chat? Mrs. Alice, they don't have the money for counseling. I know there are some programs out there that make counseling available for people who have little to no resources too. Crazy Reader, I understand she is trying to help them survive. His perception of that sounds like he's bucking against rules, right? So he's viewing it not as a solution, but as somebody trying to control him, which is why he's bucking against it the way that he is. I'm not saying that's right. That's not what she's trying to do. She's not trying to impose her rule upon him. She's trying to survive. She's trying to make sure their family survives, but he's not perceiving it that way at all. Yeah, and Mad Hatter, you could definitely see somebody on the budgeting side of things too. But yeah, the level of disrespect that he's got for you right now, OP, makes me think that, the having a conversation yourself about this and trying to get his input on creating solutions is probably a long shot. It's a Hail Mary. Hopefully, like the counseling route would have a little bit more weight to it, because maybe he's more likely to give someone else speaking the same words a little more credibility and respect and take it seriously. Otherwise, yeah, you guys are speeding toward a brick wall here, which sucks. Bunny, you can love someone and not be in love. There's no way he's in love with her to act like that. Yeah. 1342 of 2K on the finger hearts right now to get Tony Spark and a cake story up here. Steph, April, Sousa, Jebediah's, Night Sky, Tamara, I've heard it both ways. Sarah Jane, Goober, Amanda Nicole, Bunny, Steph, United Snorts of America, Rebecca, Gatesmeyer, Candace A, Candace with an I, Denise Burkhardt, Steph Lingenfelter, Rebecca, again there, Gunnery. Thank you guys so much. Greatly appreciate the love there. We're going to bounce to our next story here. That's a tough one. One Diamond in Darkness says, if he has abusive thought patterns, counseling won't help. For sure. I mean, at this point, anything's a long shot, but I, in OP's position here with a family, would want to be exploring all possible routes to fix things before just calling it quits, because calling it quits isn't going to make things easier, at least not for a while. You know what I mean? It's not going to make anything easier. Anna, Kyle, Crazy Reader, Lexi, thank you guys for the shares. Greatly appreciate that. Bella, for sure, it's not about the chips. It is definitely not about the chips. He's got his own selfish tendencies right now that he's not wanting other people to encroach upon because those are his things, right? He chooses him first, which sucks. Oy. Okay, let's go ahead and dive on to the next one here. We're at 1420 of 2K on that finger heart goal. This story is from the AITA subreddit and is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Not Inviting Sister's Family to the Beach on Easter Holiday? Hi, everybody. I am eager to read your response because I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. A bit of background. My 34 female sister, 37 female, is my mom's favorite. No way around it. She got married really young and her husband is fine, but a bit clueless. He works hard and provides a nice life, but lifting a finger for the kids would be beyond him. I'm sure that's going to come back into the story. So my mom always instilled the we got to help her out mentality, and I poured my heart and soul into helping her raise her kids for years, and I mean it. Sadly, she then thought it was my responsibility and even left me with her kids hours after my C-section. The fuck? Hours after a C-section? She's like, here, your shift is now. Even now, she throws full tantrums that ruin family vacations if I don't want to look after her kids. But the general consensus in my family is, why couldn't you just take them? They really don't see the problem. Oh, thanks, fam. Y'all are a bunch of enabling ass bags. Greatly appreciate that. I would still make the effort to help out if she had ever been a bit nice to my kids, but she's indifferent at most and downright rude at times. To your kids, OP? Wow. Which brings me to the present situation. My husband's family has a beach house, and for years, we would go there with my entire family to spend holidays, Easter, Christmas, New Year's, and the like. However, there was always something with her. I bring the food for everyone, but she brings some snacks for her kids only. My son asked for a yogurt one time, and she said no. LMAO. One time I asked for a bit of cheese for my daughter and she said no. That sort of thing. She'll bring a bag of pool noodles and shit from the dollar store for her kids only. My kids aren't allowed to touch them or use them, and she acts so annoyed if they even ask about them. For the record, my kids are 5 and 3. So this week we're going to the beach house and I haven't invited her. She asked if they could go and I said no. So she wrote to my husband thinking he'd override me, and he said, and say yes, of course. He didn't even reply to her message. Now she's boo-hooing to anyone who will listen about how bad I am and how it's my fault and her family won't get a vacation. Am I the astronaut for not inviting her? I feel terrible for her kids, but I just can't stand her being so effing rude to my kids in my face in my house. It's not even like no, NTA. Let's get it out there. NTA. Yes, I don't have a bizzo button yet, but all of you folks in the storm that have a bizzo button, throw that shit in chat. This is a bizzo. Not even just being disrespectful to you, and we see this a lot. People who are hesitant to create or reinforce boundaries for themselves. Whenever something happens to their kids, those boundaries come up. Those boundaries definitely come up because she's going mama bear mode now, right? If somebody, oh my gosh, this is the whole cycle of there's somebody who does you huge favors in life and you still treat them like shit. And then you turn around and ask them to do you more favors. What I don't understand here is Opie allowed herself to be taken advantage of in the beginning of this process by helping raise these kids pretty much, and developed a relationship which I'm sure made her more likely to allow herself to continue being taken advantage of because she was doing it for the kids at that point, not for the sister or sister-in-law. But at what point do you just stand up and you're like, hell no? And I guess this is it. There was enough pain to create some change, and she created the boundary and said, hell no, I'm not letting you ruin yet another vacation because you are an absolute ass bag. To be so giving to someone else's kids and have that person turn around and be just quite the opposite to your own kids is absolute horseshit. And I'm going to go ahead and put her up here. She's the worst of the worst. If she's willing to treat kids like shit for no reason because what? They wanted a fucking yogurt. They wanted to use the fucking pool noodle. Eat glass. You heinous biatch. It's like I can almost put a face on this gal too. You know what I mean? I can almost put a face on her. Almost. I can almost put a face. Yeah, there's a user. Yeah, she's definitely a user. I don't understand how people can use people like that and then treat them like absolute shit without trying to hide it at all. Be just terrible to them, let alone their kids. Taking it 10 steps further by being shitty to someone's kids, someone who helps you out a shit ton, and then expects to still be able to continue using and abusing them. I guess she just assumed that OP had no backbone whatsoever, and she was going to continue just taking it this whole time. But good for you, OP, for finally standing up and being like, hell no. And you know what? I would take it a step further and say, look, fam, anybody who agrees with her is welcome to stay behind. Anybody who's going to give me shit for having boundaries and protecting my children can stay behind and miss out on this too. No dark clouds allowed on this trip. Sorry about you. Ain't gonna happen. None. Oi. Oi, Darla. Eat glass and hot sauce. Enjoy the fun later. Oi. Spicy. Literally. Katisi had a friend like that, sort of. Bent over backwards for her and her kids. She didn't reciprocate. You know what? Even if you just... There's not reciprocating, but then there's doing the inverse. Like treating someone else's kids like shit whenever that person has been like a second parent to your kids. Doesn't the beach house belong to OP's husband's family? Let me check here. Hey, 1480 of 2K on the finger hearts. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. My husband's family has a beach house. Yep. And this gal, oh, it is her sister. Okay. Yeah. Not sister-in-law. Actual sister. Yeah. So, I mean, what? She's got no direct connection to that house anyway. And then your sister messaging your husband looking for a veto? Wow. Tell me you have absolutely no respect for someone without telling me you have absolutely no respect for someone. What just happened?
It's not the power. It's just the light.
Every light here in the studio just went off?
Hey, Google, turn on the lights. One Google listens in the other.
We've got our Google devices arguing with each other back here. It's like that video where the guy called 2 Chinese restaurants and put them on the phone with each other. It's pretty comical. It is a ghost. It is a ghost. Her sister definitely was the golden child. She definitely. Well, even she comes out in the beginning and says there's no way around that. So of course the parents are more likely to side with her. However, legitimately, I think you have to stand your ground here and say anybody who wants to agree with her, anybody who's going to bring this up on this trip stays behind. And if you come on this trip and you go back on your word and you start talking about this, you start siding with her, you're going to get your ass kicked out. That's it. Zero tolerance. Unfortunately, now you're going to have to balance this out, OP, with a much more firm boundary because she and the family are expecting you to be spineless to this point, and they're going to treat you like they expect you to be spineless to this point, and you're going to have to hold that boundary very, very, very firm because they're going to test it. They're going to test it. They're going to try to break it because they're going to assume that it's pretty weak. Oi. Dinglehopper, the disappointment on my face when Tony told Google to turn on the lights. No, it was like my desk stream lights were on, but every other light in the studio just went boop. I'm like, okay. But it wasn't a power outage because everything else kept on. I don't know. Ripley, you're absolutely right. It wouldn't be a dusty stream without the tech gremlins making an appearance. By the way, I got a survey from TikTok last night, and they were like, "Hey, we want to ask you some questions about the live streaming, platform and process." And they were asking all kinds of questions about the kind of equipment that I used, and asking if there were, if there were any requirements or thoughts about TikTok Live Studio. And I was like, "Oh yes, I have thoughts. Let me share them with you." And I gave a laundry list. So hopefully they jump on some of the stuff and start fixing things. Oh yeah, that's never all of my issues though. It's random wherever it pops up. 1,600 to 2K right now. We are 80% on the Finger Hearts Live goal to get Tony Spark and a cake story up here. Kiara loves listening to the podcast while you're working. It's just like the vids. Heck yeah. This is where all the videos come from live streams. Read the New Black. TikTok was glitching badly last live and someone gifted me a sub, but I didn't know till later. So thank you. Oh yeah. There you go. Thanks to whoever gifted Red is the New Black, the gifted sub there. Heck yes. Friendly hydration reminder what the Grey Rock is cooking. Thank you. Good call. Lights out compliments of Solar Storm. Oh, that's entirely possible. I don't think I have seen Quiet on set. Jenny, heck yes. Cindy, so it's you actually don't control it at all. As long as you're on a live, if someone is giving out gifted subs, it's random who gets them. But if you're there, you're able to receive one if somebody gives the gifted subs out. Kai, it's really sad. Oh no. Oh no. Is that the docuseries? Oh no. Yes. No. We don't want to go there. We definitely do not want to go there. No. 1641 to 2K. I'm going to go ahead and bounce over to the next story here. But we're going to hit this one and get Tony Spark up here. It's going to happen. Jess, thanks so much. Greatly appreciate it. What'd you say?
I said, are we?
Are we? Yes, we are. The people want to see Tony Spark. They do. They want to see your Rosebud Motel hat, man.
I got a full Schitt's Creek outfit.
You got a full Schitt's Creek outfit? Hell yes. I almost called you David. Tony Spark is David. Like, as we're rewatching Schitt's Creek again, we're in season 2 right now. I am just amazed at so often how we see David do things. And I'm like, it's Tony. It is 100%. Like, they are the same person. It is wild. Jen, you got a gifted sub there too? Heck yeah, there you go. Oh, Kelsey, you can actually choose random or specific people. Ooh, well, there you go. Christian, Candy she was here. She jumped on just a little bit ago. She's now run to get kiddos from school, and she'll be back here in just a bit. Tanya D, repping the Thunder and Spark 7 today with the new shirt. Hey, she got a Thunder and Spark shirt. Look at that. Is it the one with the Thunder and Spark 7 on the back? That's amazing. That is amazing.
People out there with merch.
Jilly, that's awesome. Now watching Schitt's Creek because of the Moira interpretation. Simply Chris, thank you. Thank you. Greatly appreciate that. Impic Roll gifted subs. So you can actually gift subs out to people who don't have a subscription already during a live. And I guess you can choose specific people to give it to, or you can make it random, but then they get like a 1 month subscription to the VIP group, to the Storm. Heck yeah. I forget what I was getting ready to say. Maureen says, weirdly, I'm more of an Alexis. Boop. Boop. La 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 la. A little bit of Alexis. Audie, no, I don't have a way to see who gifted it to you. Whenever it happens, I can see, but after the fact, I can't see. Hey, Denise, thanks so much for the love there. Alex and Rice, Katie Davenport there, Old Girl Creations. We've got Hard Loving Mama, Tony Spark, Katie Davenport again, Lily, Karen, Katie, Lindsay Love, Mrs. M. Bash, Bunny, Katie, Mary, Lindsay Love again there. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate the love. Let's go ahead and dive into our next story here. This one comes from the AITA subreddit and is titled, Am I the Astronaut putting my wife on a strict allowance and making her ask me permission to buy expensive things? I mean, it's not a good start, but after the last story or first story, we'll wait. When we married, we decided not to fully combine our finances. We have a shared account in which I fund 3/4 and she funds 1/4. We use this account to pay the mortgage, utilities, groceries, etc. We also have our separate accounts where we deposit the rest of our money. We're responsible for our own investments and cars. Things worked well for a couple of years until recently when she came to me crying. Turns out my wife is not good with her money and owes $150,000 spread over several credit cards and her car loan. Unless she wins the lottery, there's no way she would be able to pay off her debt, and I didn't want her to mess up her credit by declaring bankruptcy. I decided to loan her the money to pay off the debt on strict conditions. I will take over her finances, including receiving her income. She will be placed on a strict allowance and budget. She will have to ask permission to buy anything over $50 and have to go by my judgment. Once she pays me back the money, she can take control of her own finances. She argued against the conditions until I pointed out that I didn't have $150,000 in cash stuffed in the couch. I will have to sell some assets, including stocks that are currently performing well. If I loan her the money, it will cost me money. She finally agreed. This weekend, we were at a dinner party where after too many drinks, some of the women decided they wanted to take a girls' trip a few weekends from now. My wife turned to ask me if she could go, and I answered no, it's not in her budget. I'll spare you the details of the argument that erupted, but the too long don't read version is that I am a misogynist. Words are hard. That is now an emote too. Words are hard. The too long don't read version is that I'm a misogynist pig who keeps her on a leash. Some argued I should have bailed her out without conditions because there should be none in a marriage. The hurtful part is that she didn't once defend me. So was I wrong to put these conditions on her? I mean, you didn't force any conditions on her, right? She willingly accepted the conditions because it came with a positive. The positive that it came with was you bailing her out. But there had to be something to make up for the opportunity cost there. So, yeah, I mean, we don't do the separate finances thing. And this is one of the reasons why. I feel like money gets tricky. And if you're loaning money to your partner, I can't imagine a more messy situation. Like, that's why they say, don't loan money to friends and family? Or I don't know. But this seems like the messiest, most uncomfortable kind of situation that you could be in with your partner. And she goes out and gets schnockered with her girls, and then it comes out to the girls about it. And of course, the girls want to tear you down. Of course, it's all torches and pitchforks now at this point because they don't have the context. They don't have the context of the conversation earlier. They don't have the context of how she got into this position. They just think that you're controlling her as a misogynist, just being a complete, just thumb right on her. It's basically what was it? Handmaiden's Tale, is that what it was called? Help me out, Tony Spark, pop culture. Handmaiden's Tale? Is that what it's called?
I've seen that. I don't know the premise.
Yeah, it's extremely controlling. Well, it's perceived to be extremely controlling here. I don't know what the right move here would have been. She definitely didn't do the right thing by not correcting anybody and letting them light the torches and get out the pitchforks, because you're doing her a favor here. I guess you can retract this deal. You can retract it and say, do what you want, but you're screwed. The unfortunate part is that you're married to her, so you're probably screwed too, right? Because if it's a married couple, even though she incurred this debt on her own, aren't you on the hook for it as well? Her so-called friends need to know that she has a debt that he bailed her out on. Yeah, that's the context. That if you just heard this part on its own, like, yeah, she has to run every purchase above $50 by her husband, and whatever he says goes, and he receives her checks and handles everything for her. That information by itself, yes, seems very, very bad. In the context of how they got to that point, that's the understanding that everybody who's making a judgment on this within her friend group is missing. You cannot make a judgment on this situation with just that piece of information and expect to have any kind of clear understanding about what's going on. The wife should have asked him privately instead of in front of her friends. Princess Heather, I would agree with that. I think the smart move on her part would have been, let me think about it and let me see if I can actually afford to do it, and I'll let you guys know later. That would have been the smart move, instead of turning around and looking at Daddy and saying, Daddy, can I? And him being like, no. And then everybody being like, you can't tell her no. She's an independent woman. They're all sauced, remember? The friend group is all sauced. They're all out drinking. This is the most dangerous situation you could ever put yourself in. I understand that OP, your intentions were noble here, but this is just one of the most volatile, uncomfortable situations I have ever heard of between a married couple. And that... Yeah, she didn't learn anything, because having freshly got herself into this situation, I can't imagine someone who really was interested in getting out of that situation asking to go on this trip in the first place. But let's talk about this for a second. As a married couple, if you had separate finances and your spouse came to you and asked, would you bail your spouse out? I mean, what would we do there? Is hubby in the wrong here for creating a structure that helps bail her out while also teaching her to fish? And while we're thinking about that, let's go ahead and thank our Fingerheart gifters here, because we hit that goal. Heck yes, we did. Callie Prue leading in the number 1 spot this round. Mrs. Alice in the number 2 spot. Chef Tila, Katie Davenport, Mama Joe, Bunny C. Ann, Sklingenfelter. I gotta raise this up a little bit. This new mic position is gonna take some getting used to. TKP Nurse, Overkill Mill, JS73 Silent Rage, Candy Thunder, Amber L. Hickey, Tony Spark, TF90, Jane Owen, United Snorts of America, April Wilson, Aurora, 5129 there. Thank you for the bailout there, Tony. Oh, I'm lost. I am Jill 21, Elise Newman, Smiles 420, Beth Ann, Hamel Rob, Janet Lopez, Numcrawl, Fane, Lalal, Annie Butcher, MJ Newcomb, Lindsay Sun, Joyful Stranger, Kai, Katisi, Mrs. M. Bash, Sarah Richardson, Tanya D, aka T, Dylan Sprague, Robin Hazen, Queenie. We've got Lil Zilla, Night Sky Cowgirl, Mercy the Hufflepuff, Boo 77. We've got Brooklyn Baby 777, Jen, Denise Burkhardt, Miss Pamela L, Oakley Girl, Anna Hartman, and Trini Marie. Thank you all so much. We've unlocked Tony Spark. We've unlocked a cake story. What shall we unlock next? Let's unlock a spicy best of Redditor update story. Spicy. spicy Best of Redditor update story. There we go. We're going Tiny Dinies. Pin it. Tiny Diny mode. Tony Spark, you have any interest in jumping up and giving some feedback on this story?
On this story?
No. No, on this story, no. No, not on this
I feel like feedback's complete.
I don't feel like it is. Because we did, but I paused and asked chat to think about.
We'll go ahead and finish your feedback.
Paused and asked chat to talk about whether we think hubby is on the wrong for adding the structure and trying to help her out here. I feel like, he came from a noble place. I don't know. Execution here was just sloppy. And that's not on him. He tried to do the right thing. He added structure here, but didn't think about the social ramifications to it. Selena, I agree. She just proved that she can't be responsible. And shortly after, he extended this olive branch and extended a solution path for her to climb out of this hole. She immediately tries to go deeper into it and then makes him seem like the bad guy for trying to help her by not providing the context of how they got to this point. I don't feel like he sucks here for doing this. I feel like this is all on her. However, OP, NTA, in my book here. Where does the wife go? Where does wifey end up for letting him take the fall, for letting her girls light the torches and pitchforks and come after him for trying to help her? I feel like it's pretty freaking bad. It's at least a 2. Definitely shouldn't have done it. Is it a 1? Is this a 1 kind of thing? Is it just terrible? Oh, Danny, if she did it on purpose, for sure it's a 1. I feel like we are here for a couple of reasons. I feel like she's at a 1 because she got herself into this mess without communicating about it in the first place until it was way past the point of no return. He offers a plan, offers her a way out. There are some conditions involved that she accepted, and then made him seem like the devil for imposing those conditions in the first place and not speaking up and letting everybody think something that isn't accurate at all about him. I feel like she has a responsibility at this point, if she wants to remain married to you, OP, to go clean up that mess and to set everyone straight. And who knows how many people they've all told at this point. Again, only knowing half the story. It is her responsibility to clean up that mess. And if she can clean up that mess, cool. Come back. Let's learn a lesson. Take it as a learning moment here and not step in that pile of shit again. If she is not willing to do that, I think your original offer is redacted. I think you take it back. Say, look, when I try to help you, my hand gets bit, so I'm not going to help you. Stacy says, I think she was asking to go in hopes that it was on him, not her finances. So she was thinking that he would just pay for it. Sucks. Not a fan. Okay, so we unlocked the cake story and Tony Spark. Let's get Tony Spark up here, ladies and gentlemen. I got to do his intro. We got to do it. Ladies and gentlemen. Tony Spark.
I don't gotta move it? Nope. It's weird. Hi, everybody. What's up? Hello. I feel like I didn't need to give feedback on that story because I feel like I relate more with the wife in that situation. Because I'd be like, no, I need to save money, and then I don't need to spend money, and I gotta pay this off, and then it'd be like, hey, you want to go on a vacation? I'll be like, yeah, when are we leaving? So that's kind of where I would be at on that. How is everybody? Everybody good? Thank you, Melissa. Got my Rosebud Motel hat, my Rose Apothecary shirt. This was actually for the hoodie was for my Halloween costume like 4 years ago. Me and my friends went as the cast of Schitt's Creek. We had Roland, we had Stevie, we had Moira, and I was David. And then 2 of my friends were supposed to be Alexis and Ted, but then they couldn't make it to the party. They got sick. Yeah, Hazel. Well, we can. It just gets very expensive very quickly. Yeah. Glad you brought that up, Justina. Because I'm only 72 followers away from 2,000. So if there's 72 of you in chat who don't follow me, now's the perfect time to go follow at @TonySpark_. You should go check it out. Look at that. Look at that. Hands free, and I can still plug myself in the comments. Oh, Lord.
I don't think you should ever say hands free and I can still plug myself again.
God bless America. That was bad. Yeah. Don't draw attention to it. Why'd you have to say that? Handmaid's Tale. You know, I've heard about it. I've just never watched it. I've never. That's what I'm talking about. Miles says we're gaining followers by the second over on TonySpark_. Look at you guys. Ellen called me out last week. Where's Ellen at? Where you at, Ellen? She called me out last week. Been watching Ellen's videos. Less than 50. We're down to less than 50. The live count is on. Look at us go. How's everybody doing? Everybody ready for the weekend? We made it to Wednesday. Just got a few days left. Hi, Ellen. How are you? Been watching your videos. You know, when you hit the follow button and then you just it's everybody's videos. An exam next week. Oh no. That's not great. Exams are never fun. Kids' holiday for Friday. Yeah, Easter's coming up. Everybody got the Easter candy ready. Easter Bunny's gonna be making some visits. Somehow we've got an exorbitant amount of candy all of a sudden has shown up. I had some candy from an event this last week, and I was like, oh, I had it in my truck. I brought it in. At the same time, Candy Thunder also brought in all sorts of candy. So we have there's a whole smorgasbord of candy over there. How are we looking, Miles?
20 away.
Oh, we're only 20 away, guys. We're only 20 away.
You got it.
Yeah. 1973. Look at us go. Look at you guys are the best. You guys are the best. And once every 3 weeks, I come up with an idea for a video. So that's, I'm gonna have to work on that. Every now and then I'm like, oh, I should, what happens is I usually do stuff and then I'm like, oh, I should have made a video out of that. And then I forget. I never have the thoughts when I should have, but yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. At @TonySpark_, Catherine. Candy Thunder's not here, but I can just see her shaking her head with her eyes closed and rolling her eyes right now as I continue to say, follow me. How do we celebrate Easter? Usually it's just, are you just saying the typical way to celebrate Easter? Candy. Lots of candy. You go get some eggs. You boil the eggs and then you either get the little cups and the little cheap ass dye things and you throw them in the water and you dunk them and you can decorate them and then you hide them. You hide some eggs in the morning, for the kiddos and they go hunting Easter eggs from the Easter Bunny and yeah. Ham. Somebody says ham. Yeah. Did I hit it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
All right. You guys are the best. That's it. No, let's just go. Let's just go to 20,000.
Let's go 24 hours.
No, okay. Let's calm down. I'm not doing 24 hours.
24-hour stream 2.0.
Surprise 24-hour stream.
Yeah, surprise 24-hour stream. Guess what? Candy Thunder. We didn't tell you this, but guess what? It's a 24-hour stream now.
Once a month.
Here we go. And yeah, we now got to find 88 stories for the next. Yikes. That's rough. I hijacked a live. I did. Just to get to 2,000 followers. But all right. You guys are awesome. Where's the gift goal? Gift goal is $6.91. Let me tell you a little bit about this spicy Best of Redditor update story. This spicy Redditor update story originates with a tragedy. It has secrets. It has scandal. It has adultery. It has escorts. It has secrets.
More secrets. There's lots of secrets. Hidden thing.
Secret escorts.
It's a good Best of Redditor update story. So yeah, gotta hit that gift goal. But now you got a cake story coming.
Hey-o.
Bye guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Spark. And I went and did a wardrobe change so chat would be easier to see. So I hope that helps. I hope it helps here. Okay, it is cake reward story time. Let me get reset here. Is it about Diddy? No. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read it yet, but surely not. It is not. Surely not. I got my Thunder shirt on here. This is one of the newer pieces of swag. And if you order on a computer, you can actually change the ink to this this is like a velvet kind of thing. So on our spread shop, they actually do that. It's cool. Tone on tone. Likes it. All right, here is the cake reward story. This is titled, Am I the Astronaut for telling my parents that I blamed them instead of my brother? I, 15 male, turned 15 last Thursday and had my party that Friday. Everything was going good until my nephew, 5 male, came. I didn't even want him to come because he's not well behaved at all, but they told me that they didn't want him to feel excluded by everyone else being invited and they'll just have my brother watch him better. I told my dad that I didn't want him coming because I didn't want him throwing a fit all night, but they told me that he wouldn't be and that I shouldn't be dramatic. They told me that they didn't want their grandchild to be upset because he wouldn't be there, and if something does go wrong, they'll take responsibility for it. My nephew threw my fucking birthday cake on the floor. I threw it on the ground. Nobody wants your autograph. That's the worst. Good time to solve a puzzle. Here we go. No, that's pretty shitty. He was upset that he didn't get to blow out the candles and started screaming and crying when my brother held him back. After he calmed down, he literally dug his hands into the cake and slid it to the floor. I was disappointed, not surprised. My brother and parents were apologetic, and my brother compensated our parents for my cake and apologized to me. It's been 3 days, and I'm basically over it now, but my brother called me after school and told me that he wants to take me out for an apology birthday dinner, but I told him that it was fine and that our parents were already planning on getting me another cake, so it really wasn't a big deal. He asked me if I was sure, and I told him that I was and thanked him for giving them the money. I told him I was already planning on going out with my friends and we could do it another time. After that, we kind of talked some more before he hung up. When my parents got home, they told me that my brother told them that morning that he was going to invite me out, and they asked me if I accepted it. When I told them that I didn't, they got mad at me for refusing and said that I probably made him feel worse than he already does. He didn't sound hurt to me. I told them that he already gave them money to pay for the cake and that I'm grateful for that. I told them that I don't blame him at all and I blame them instead. I said if they felt bad, it could have been avoided if they didn't invite my nephew in the first place, and that they said they were going to take responsibility, but instead they're making my brother pay for the cake that they said they were responsible for. They got mad when I said this and said that they didn't mean to ruin my birthday and that they didn't want my nephew and brother to feel left out. My parents have been acting pretty cold to me since, but I'm not too worried. Whenever we have a disagreement, they usually ignore me until the next day, and then they just magically forget everything that happened. I'm just confused if I was wrong or not. This kid is 15. I mean, this is a 15-year-old kid, and then his brother, his nephew is 5, so his brother is old enough to have a 5-year-old kid. We don't know how old the brother is, but he's old enough to have a 5-year-old kid. The thing that really gets me in this, and the question is, am I the astronaut for telling my parents that I blamed them instead of my brother? No, because you said ahead of time. Actually, they said ahead of time, if anything goes wrong, we will accept personal responsibility. Well, something went wrong, and they did not accept personal responsibility. So you're holding them accountable for that because they said they were going to be accountable for that. How does that make you an asshole? It doesn't. They said they would be accountable. They have not held themselves accountable. Instead, they've held your brother accountable, and yes, it's his kid that did this terrible thing, and that the parents are on the hook to be able to make those kind of things right. And he did, but it kind of seems like the parents are just leaving it at that, and they're like, oh, he did this thing, that's enough, we don't need to do anything. Yes, you do. But they also said they're going to take him out. Not like take him out, they're going to take him out for a makeup birthday dinner or get him another cake or something. They're going to take him out. They're going to make it up to him by getting him another cake, but it could have been avoided in the first place. I think Yeah, you got an unruly little 5-year-old there. It's your 15-year-old's birthday. If he says explicitly, I don't want this to be ruined by this kid, I think you as a parent have a responsibility to at least take that request a little bit more seriously and have a conversation with your other son about his unruly, rampant little velociraptor of a 5-year-old, and make sure that you're doing everything possible to avoid it. And maybe they did that, but at the end of the day, they said they would be responsible for anything that went wrong. Now they have to make good on that. Otherwise, their word means nothing. And I don't think you want your word meaning nothing to your 15-year-old kid. Opie's parents insisted that he was invited. Yes, they insisted. And I understand their position too. They don't want, their other kid to miss out on this. They don't want their only grandchild to miss out on this either. I understand it's a very difficult position for them to be in. However, if your child that is having a birthday has a specific request, I feel like you have to do a little bit more than just immediately dismiss that request. And that's what they did in this case. Is the 5-year-old maybe special needs? Could be. I mean, it could be. And I don't know that a 15-year-old will know to mention that. You know what I mean? But there's another side of me that's like, oh, Opie, just get ready. Because like it's going to get more hellacious as time goes on. And you're going to learn pretty soon that like your birthday parties aren't necessarily a celebrate you kind of party. It's just another chance for the family to get together at some point here. But that comes later on with age. At 15, it still very, very, very much matters. And the parents here have just failed on a couple of accounts. The biggest one and the most important one for this story is saying that they'll be accountable and then choosing not to be. And that sucks. So no, you blame them because they said if anything goes wrong, blame us. You're doing exactly what you guys talked about. Exactly. Moon, thanks for the follow. Greatly appreciate it. Leslie Galvin, Elizabeth Scholes, Friendly Neighborhood Tim, Dr. Sweets is in the house, throwing down 300 tiny dinies there. Olivia Marie, Mary, Old Girl Creations, Olivia again there, Justina, Misty, Tony Spark, San Luis Zapata, Candace with an I, Liza, Quinn Sampson, user 55, lots of numbers there. Beautiful Drea. Is it Drea or Dre? Drea. Andrika. Mary, Dr. Sweets again with more tiny dinies. Tom, Jackie Kelly, thank you guys so much. Dan, April Wilson, Faye, Leslie, see you there as well. Mercy, thanks so much.
Candy Thunder pinned a comment saying that in the comments, OP says there's no diagnosis. 5-year-old is just spoiled.
Okay. There we go. The diagnosis is spoiled, which makes it quite a bit worse. Candy Thunder just pulled back into the parking lot, by the way. You'll see her again here momentarily. Multitasking. Cassie, thanks for the share. Greatly appreciate it. Dr. Sweet says it doesn't matter if the child has special needs or not. OP doesn't want him at his birthday party. And I think you have to respect that as a parent, as painful as that might be. Maybe you have a separate get together. You know what I mean? Maybe you have a separate whole family get together, but the first get together that you have is with your 15-year-old who's having a birthday party who explicitly doesn't want this kid there to ruin it. So you check the box, right? And then you can have a separate party and include everybody so that you check your own box. But I think you've got to check the box of the birthday person first. Real Estate W. Roger with a follow. Thanks so much there. Ta with the share. Thanks for that. 50% of the live goal is done. Words are hard. Words are hard. If you weren't here earlier in the stream and you remember the storm, we now have new emotes added. One of those is words are hard. Nikki with a share there as well. Thanks so much, Quiet Minded. Yep, you're on top of it. Elizabeth, seems like no one disciplines this little guy and it'll get worse for sure. And at 5, I don't know. It's been a while since we had a 5-year-old. You know, Navy's almost 3 and she's a hellion right now for sure. But at 5, you know, that's kindergarten age. I would expect a lot of that behavior to be starting to mellow out, but I don't know. Yeah, not many 15-year-olds want a 5-year-old around, for sure. Faux show. Anna says she's neurodivergent and wish people would stop armchair diagnosing anyone who acts up. For sure. I mean, definitely in 2024, it is like it's a knee-jerk reaction to a lot of things. It is extreme to throw a cake at 5, and especially because you're just pissed off because you didn't get to blow out the candles. Now, Navy Thunder is almost 3. She doesn't understand when it's someone else's birthday and she's not opening presents, but she gets it at a certain point after we explain it, and most of the family invites her over to start opening presents so she can help them open presents, and she enjoys doing that. So it's a little bit different. Delulu, Ms. Muffin. That's Delulu. It's just a delusion. What is emoji? Bizzo. So we have talked about creating the girl version or the female version of Brozo. We talked about using Hozo. We were afraid to use Ho because it might be a little bit offensive. So Bizzo is like the bish Brozo kind of thing. Bizzo. That's Candy Thunder came up with that one. Bizzo. Ms. Muffin. Yes, the Delulu. We've got some good ones up there now. Tree Wish says, my son is odd, and it's my responsibility as a mom to run interference. For sure. Erica, good to see you there. And brother did. I mean, he tried to control him at some point, but failed. And but the 5-year-old calmed down and then attacked. So this was malicious intent by a 5-year-old. He knew exactly what he was doing and pretended to be okay so that he could get out of his dad's restraints and then destroy the cake. It's pretty terrible. Danny, yeah, the cat and the Delulu thing is given the bird. Yep. Does the Bizzo fly on a broom? Yeah, probably. We still do need the Caden emoji. We need to get Jesse to whip up the super emoji. User 383, thanks so much. It is available in the swag shop. And I switched it from the sweater because chat was hard to read. We are at 1530 of 3K on the Tiny Tinies right now. Still rocking along. Why does a 5-year-old need to be at the 15-year-old's birthday party? Because not Grammy, because the grandparents wanted him there because it's their grandchild. And they didn't want to exclude their other child, which is the 5-year-old's father. You think it's malicious at this point? Hey, Tony, can we task Jesse to make the super emoji for Caden Thunder so we can create an emote for him? That's one we forgot. Miles just said, V baby. No, it looks like you're still a member of the storm. Still very much so. Young Beans. Is that your rapper name? Young Beans? Liza with the boxing gloves. Thanks so much. TLS. Heck yes. User 55. Lots of numbers there. Fane. Leslie Galvin. Tenacious Tina. Kenny. Welcome to the God Checking Fam. Cristalita. Leslie Galvin. Manuel Lopez. Luz. Pixie Crystalis. We've got Keola Jenkins. Oh, I want to say that we learned how to pronounce his name. Keola? I don't think that's right. Keola Jenkins. Welcome to the God Checking Fam. Stephanie Vandermeulen. Pixie again there. Silver. Manuel. Valkyrie's Jewelry. You guys are awesome. Tori Schmidt. Long. Crystal Williams. Christy. You guys are awesome. Olivia. I see you there as well. Mercy. Grygoose. You guys are great. Thank you so much. And Natty, like if there's a dog that counter surfs, you can be proactive. Truth. Keola is correct. Okay, cool. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and dive to the next one here. This story is actually from the Dusty Thunder subreddit, and this one is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Ruining My Husband's Experience in the Delivery Room? Sounds like a weird question. This happened 7 years ago. At the time, I, 27 female, and my husband, 27 male, were pregnant. I didn't want to know the gender of our child, and he did. He said, I just want to prepare for the baby. I told him I didn't want to know because there are so few real surprises in life. We agreed he would find out so he could prepare, but he would keep it a secret from me. And if he blew the secret, I got to touch his face with my hand. I'm pretty sure that means she hits him in the junk or something. Flash forward to 2 months before we had our son, my husband insisted on me reading a text convo between him and an old roommate while his mother was at our house, and in it, he told the ex-roommate we were having a son. Aw, man. I was so disappointed. I was already upset that he hadn't attended any doctor's appointments or ultrasounds. Wait, what? What? Then I asked what he's bought to prepare, and it was 2 onesies, and we were already 7 or 8 months in. Okay, what? So he needed to know so he could prepare, but did no actual preparing at all. And didn't attend any appointments or anything? What exactly was he trying to prepare for here? Just mentally prepare? Mentally prepare, maybe. So I plotted my revenge. Week after week of asking him if he wanted to cut the cord and insisting he would regret it if he didn't. It's such a cherished moment by many men. It'd be better to say you did it rather than my mom, blah, blah, blah. We get to the labor and delivery of our son. I had never-ending morning sickness, so I was puking the whole time while trying to deliver. Our son came out. My husband got handed the scissors. We both took a deep breath. He went in to cut the cord and winced at the same time. As soon as the cord was cut, I screamed. I screamed so hard and for so long it probably sounded like someone was unaliving me. The doctor even asked if I was okay. I just laughed. I'm just fucking with you. I can't feel anything. I've had an epidural. He is still mad at me for this one. Am I the astronaut? That was 7 years ago. He's still mad about it. Too long don't read. My husband couldn't keep our baby's gender a secret, so I screamed when he cut the cord. You know what, OP? Hey, I'm going to throw you some petty confetti here and bravo for you, because I thought this was going somewhere very dark. You were very, very disappointed that he spilled the beans by having you read this text message, which seems malicious on his part, doesn't it? Because he insisted that you read this text conversation, and he had to have known that information was included in there. Also, his insistence on knowing ahead of time so he could prepare, but then not preparing at all. Like there's a lot of things stacked up against him that I thought your revenge was going to be pretty maniacal and pretty dark, but it wasn't. It was, it is, that is, yes, that is. But this was pretty lighthearted and funny. You chose to take one moment, to take one big swing back at him and to do it in a fun way. I'm sure it wasn't fun at the time for him, but he absolutely deserved every second of that. Now, if it was something that you had dragged on for like an extended period of time and made him think that you were actually like on your way out, yeah, that'd be too far. But the fact that you did this as a quick thing and immediately were like, I'm fine, I'm just fucking with you. Yeah. Well warranted here. Well warranted here. NTA. I don't think you ruined his delivery room experience. Also, I think unless he has some kind of super duper strict job that doesn't allow him to take time to go to any of those appointments, I'd say he ruined the whole experience for himself. I can't imagine not wanting to go to any of those appointments. And I know there are some jobs out there that there are jobs out there that make it harder than others to be able to attend those kind of things, but still, go to one at least. I don't understand any of the things that he did here. She ruined the delivery experience. Yeah, but Brozo ruined her pregnancy experience. They're even, Danny. You know what? They're not, though. That's the funny part here is that OP has so much more freedom in how far they could go to make this thing actually even. And she chose something that was well short of what she could have done, and then said, that's all I wanted. Now we're even. We're fine. And as long as she believes they're even, cool. You guys are fine. Also, hubby, I wouldn't say shit about it. I wouldn't say it's 7 years later and you're still mad at her. Dude, she could do so much more and still not be anywhere near even with you. I would suggest you not utter a fucking word about this ever again. Because she could revive it and be like, fine. I can keep going. No. You got off easy. Take the W and move on. A warning would have been nice. Dr. Sweets. What did Becky say here? Let me go back up. She should have warned them when they left the room. Like the medical professionals. I've never heard of somebody having morning sickness and puking all the way like up to and through delivery too. That seems like something could have been wrong there. That's an aside to the story altogether, but I'm like, wow. Having morning sickness the entire time through the pregnancy, even through delivery, that seems like hell. Less than 1K to go on the Tiny Dinies. We're at 2010 out of 3K. Krista, it's called HG. Diana, that was you.
Yeah.
Denise, you did too. Oh my gosh. Dudes, we're very, very fortunate to not have the burden of that. I'm sure there's a magic in it too, and like the bonding experience part of it. There's something that we'll never get to experience that I'm sure more than makes up for all of the pain and burden that your body goes through. But my goodness, having to throw up the whole time. This is why you got to take care of your pregnant ladies, dudes. They're going through a lot, okay? And even afterwards, like you start going through more with them, but they're still going through more. Like you take care of you ladies, please. Brittany sending through a hundo, Tiny Dinies, heck yes. Dana, Ashley T, Adventures with Pam K, Stephanie Vandermillen, Dana, 9480, Kenny, Ashley T, Christy, Brittany, welcome to the Gosh Hecked fam. Glad to have you here. Sarah Bella with the Harmy there. Leah with the auto renewal subscription. Welcome to the Gosh Hecked fam. Tony Sparks sending some Tiny Dinies through. Liza, Christy, Dana, Brittany with more Friendly Neighborhood Tim. Dana there as well. Old Girl Creations. You guys are great. Thank you so much. Ashley T. We've got what is this happy party thing? Michelle Heather. Wow, that's a cool one. I've not seen that before. Biggie B, Old Girl Creations, Friendly Neighborhood Tim, Ginny M, Ashley T, more Tricia, Christy, Amanda McCammon, Dana. You guys are great. Thank you. Maria Silva, thanks for the share. Lady Artemis, thanks for the share there as well. Ms. Pamela L, takes a year for your body to completely heal, and your brain is never the same, right? Saucy story from Meet the Dino Goal. Yep, we have a spicy Best of Redditor update story. Heck yes. And I think even for, I think as a parent, once you become a parent and you go through that first leg of having an infant, and then it's followed immediately by like the terrible toddler phase. And then like, I just don't think your brain and your soul are never the same, right? And then at some point, your kids get to an age where you're like, man, I really miss the teeny tot phase. We should have another. And then you do it. And then you're like, what have we done? What have we done?
Then you get to a point where you're teenagers.
Yes. Yeah. When the teenagers think you're an idiot, that's when you start missing the teeny phase when they liked to cuddle with you and they loved you. Friendly Neighborhood Tim, yours is 5. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Oui, papa. Yes, Liza. Yeah, heck yeah. Andromeda Amber, yep, we're at 27 hundo of 3K. The spicy story is a coming. Is a juicy update? Heck yes. DJ Trishy D, heck yeah. Heck yeah. Don't know where to find the dino. There's some people that it doesn't show up for. And that's one of the things that I mentioned in that survey that I took for the TikTok live studio platform questionnaires. The gift consistency in general is lacking. Amber, like your kids are grown, you want grandbabies so you can give them back. Yes. So we're not ready. We're not ready for that. We're not ready for that part. Definitely not. Dylan, Brittany, Catherine, Christy, Dr. Sweet sending through a big bunch there. Jacob, Catherine, Cassie, you guys are awesome. We got it. There. Let's talk about it for a second. We'll do the chill track here. Dr. Sweet's leading the board here with BBB Brittany in the number 2 spot. Dana, 9480 in the number 3 spot. Crashly Nicole, Adventures with Pam, TLS Journey, Callie Prue, AK Mary, Candy Thunder, Taylor Dactyl, Kimberly P, Stanzilla. I am Jill 21, Tony Spark, Olivia and Sons. Bop-a-da-bop-a-da-bop. Roberta Snyder, Amber L. Hickey, TYK Bunny, Mama Silver, Jane Owen, Fane 13, Lalal, Sklingenfelter, Sarah Richardson, Savina, Janet Lopez, Misty Joe, Luna Snorlax, Kenny 20, Bunny C. and JS73 Silent Rage, Mercy the Hufflepuff, Anna Hansen, This Is Fine, 01, Sayajin Lopez, I'm sure I'm not saying that right, Sayajin, Catherine Hoy, Dylan Sprague, Shannon Aaron, Leo Named Water, Anna Hartman, MJ Newcomb, Justina, April, Brooklyn Baby, Friendly Neighborhood Tim, the Jacob Earl, and the Labyrinthian. Heck yeah, you guys are awesome. Thanks so much. We have unlocked the Best of Redditor updates, Spicy Satori. Let me get our next goal set up and we'll dive right into it. right into it. This one will unlock a Cake story and a Caden Thunder appearance. Cake and Caden. I guess I better put Cake story just to make sure. Just to make sure. We are doing donuts. We're doing the donuts. Pinning it. We're at 55% of the likes goal right now as well. We're at 335K out of 600. Moving right along. Moving right along. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but you don't see my mic in frame here at all. Does it still sound crystal clear for you? Candy, first comment I see when I look up is Candy Thunder saying, I get puppy fever. And I'm like, no.
We have a 2-year plan. You told me.
I did. I'm saying right now, right at this time, it's just not a good time for me right now.
It's not about you.
It's not about me. Ah! Cool. Okay, so I did some research on microphone positioning, and as I'm trying to increase my skill level and quality, I'm trying a little bit of a different one out, and also this doesn't put it in frame. So, cool. Thank you so much for the feedback there. Greatly appreciate it. Here, let's do it. Let's get the best Redditor update story. Okay, this story comes from Best of Redditor Updates and is titled, Will I Be the Astronaut If I Told My Male 46 Kids, Male 16, Female 18, Their Recently Deceased Mother, Female 44, Cheated on Me? Okay.
I don't want to be a part of that conversation.
The wound's still a bit fresh. A month ago, my wife of 22 years tragically died in a car crash. Cynthia was one of those drivers that loved to stare into her phone, and unfortunately, this bad habit caught up with her in the last week of January. I was pretty devastated when the police showed up at my door and told me she had a fatal accident, and I wanted to honor her somehow. At the time of the accident, I had no idea she was having an affair. The last 4 or 5 months, I did notice she was pulling away and our intimacy decreased, but I thought this was just something that happened to couples after 20 years, so I didn't put much mind to it. But, at least from what she told me, Cynthia started to get into writing. She was constantly on her laptop typing away at all hours. She told me she was working on a fantasy book, hopefully the first of a series. When I asked more, she said it was about a fantasy world where a super advanced human race appears and interacts with orcs and elves and magic with laser guns and high tech. It sounded very cool, and Cynthia promised as soon as she had a first draft she liked, she would let me read it. I decided to honor her by getting the draft of her book and hiring a writer to clean it up and publish it with a novelty press. I got on her laptop and no book, no sign at all. I opened her Chrome thinking she might have written it in Google Drive and saw a bunch of pinned tabs. One was a Facebook Messenger tab with a ton of her messages with a man, John. I have no idea who John is, never met him, but they talked about meeting up, exchanging photos, everything. The last message John sent her was 2 days before Cynthia's accident. The two saying they loved each other and him saying he was going on a business trip to Germany. The messages between Cynthia and John have shown they had met up at the house more than once, so I already had the locks changed. Not sure if John is back yet, and frankly, don't care if he is. I mean, that's... So you lose your wife, and then find out she was cheating on you. That's yeah. It's not enough pain. I was thoroughly devastated. She did have a Google Drive tab, but in her drive wasn't a book about elves as Vulcans, but a shared document with John. The document was a plan she and John drafted on how to divorce me, turn the kids against me, and take our home and as much money as possible. One thing she noted was she had been taking money, a few hundred a month, and putting it in a separate account. I got the bank thing sorted out and the money in the kids' college account. I've also been going to therapy twice a week now. It is hard to be mad at someone who is dead, especially someone everyone else in your life is grieving and praising as a wonderful wife and mother. I have asked my therapist if I should tell my kids about what Cynthia has done and what she was planning to do. My therapist cautioned me about this. He said that they just lost their mother and being told this would be condemning her memory. Damnatio memoriae. Maybe now is not the time, but I think eventually would be a time for my kids to know. Wow. Okay. Comments here. 1, now is definitely not the time to burden them with that. 2, I agree. As someone who lost a parent when I was growing up, I could not handle information like that at the time. I know every kid is different, so you know yours the best. But personally, I think it'd be easier to wait until they are independent adults, not just legal adults, because I did not consider myself to be functioning as an adult at 18 and can process everything without taking a toll on their mental health during a time of grief. 3, my kids were grown and still had daddy on a pedestal. I told them eventually that he might have been a good dad, but he wasn't a good husband. They got it. They were 4 and 5 when he died and 20-something when I said that. They quit comparing their stepdad so harshly. We got an update to read here, but I can't imagine even finding out all of this out that I would want to inflict this additional pain onto kids who are already grieving. And the kids are... Let me scroll back up for 16 and 18. Yeah, I mean, right now, this is your pain, OP, right? This is relationship pain. And yes, she had this plot to turn them against you, which sucks and would have involved them at the time. But luckily, it doesn't sound like it got to that point yet. So right now, this is your pain. Update 5 days later. Some things have happened since last time. To answer some questions, I have gone to the bank and got control of Cynthia's account and transferred the money into savings account for the kids. Also, my kids already suspected. Okay. Tuesday night, my eldest Michelle said her and my son Jason had something to say to me. They sat me down in the living room and Michelle said, "We think mom was cheating on you." Now it's okay to talk about. They both said they weren't sure, but it was eating them up to see me in extreme grief the past month, and they thought I should hear what they suspected. They brought up how Cynthia was always away, and when she was at home, she would make strange observations about me. Stuff like, "Isn't it weird your dad's working late this week?" This is one of those seeds Cynthia mentioned in her document that she wanted to plant in the kids. Okay, so she did already start that phase. Michelle said her suspicions were high the week before the accident when she got home from school and saw a strange jacket on the coat hook by the front door. It wasn't any jacket Jason or I had, so she was very suspicious about it. I told both of my kids that I didn't tell them, but I found the evidence on their mom's computer when I was looking for the book she said she was writing. Michelle wanted to see the evidence, but Jason said he didn't want to think or talk about mom for a while. I shared the info with Michelle after she insisted she already suspected her mom and was ready for it. It feels good to now have someone close that can talk to me about this beyond my therapist. Yesterday afternoon, I was home alone when I heard someone jiggling the back door's knob. I went to the door and saw a man I have never seen before trying to use a key on the lock. I told him to step back from the door and he almost jumped. I opened the door crack and asked him who he was and what he was doing in my backyard. It was John, Cynthia's affair partner. Apparently, he had not received the news yet. He told me that he had worked with my wife and he just got back from a trip and saw Cynthia passed away on social media. And he and Cynthia were starting a business. They had a business bank account with his investment money in the business, and he was wondering if I could help him get the business funds transferred over. Oh, this bag of dicks. Wow. He's still trying. He's still trying to execute this skeezy plan. Okay, hold on. At this point, it sounds like he was just taking advantage of her to siphon some money away because he showed up right after finding out that she passed, still trying to get in. So he was trying to use the key on the house knowing that she was already passed? Was he going to go look for money that she had stashed somewhere? What was he attempting to pull off here?
Also, he had a key.
Yeah, and he had a key. He had a key, but OP had already changed the locks because he knew he had a key. What the blubbins? I looked him straight in the eye and said I was at the bank and Cynthia didn't have an extra business account and that I had no idea what he was talking about. John also said that he wanted to check my wife's things for any sensitive business documents. Oh, yeah, business documents. You mean like the dirty business you guys were having together? That business? I said he was a stranger and was not welcome in my home, especially since he tried to enter without permission. John looked defeated, but did suggest he would consult with a lawyer about his sensitive business documents and business funds. You do that, buddy. You do that. You do that. Yeah. And we'll have a chat with our lawyer about attempted breaking and entering, and also how you're showing up here to a family who's grieving the loss of their wife and mother. Yes, she was cheating, but she's still a mother to these kids, and you're showing up trying to sneak in the house to steal shit. I don't think we need to know anything else about you. Nothing. We don't need to know anything else about this guy. Comments. 1, John had a key to your home. 2, and he knew Cynthia was dead and still tried to enter like he had rights to it. OP needs to consult their own lawyer and get the locks changed. He already changed the locks, but yes, lawyer up. 3, he wanted the money and to get rid of all proof of where the money came from. OP needs to secure all of those things he found in case this guy will try to go to court with his story. 4, honestly, you might want to start calling lawyers and get a consultation with both family law and civil litigation attorneys on the off chance John actually pursues something further. I would also start taking the time to go through everything of hers along with changing the passwords to all of her online accounts. When changing the passwords, don't forget to change the security questions as well as any phone numbers and emails attached to the accounts. Yeah, we do have another update to read, but let's talk about this for a second. Holy crap. Oh, and we hit the donut live goal. Let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about this. We'll do this one. Dr. Sweet in the number 1 spot there again. In the number 2 spot, Brittany, Crashly Nicole, AK Mary, Callie Prue, Tanya Pimbleton, Adventures with Pam, Tesh 179, Old Girl 2023, Candy Thunder, Friendly Neighborhood Tim, Candyland Fizzes. We've got Winking Reptile, Theriego, Berlioz, Justina. Thanks for the save. Amy Digby. Is that right? Amy Digby? We've got Aries from Mars. Ms. Pamela L. Aurora. Dylan Sprague. Bood Waifu. Faye of the Wilds. Melted Crayon. Denise Burkhardt. Crystal-less Pixie. Yes, sorry. April Wilson, Anna Hartman. We've got Semi-Wolf Dreams and Brian Whitener. Thank you guys so much for that. Greatly appreciate it. We've unlocked Caden Thunder and a cake story. Hell yeah. Let's get the next one set up. We'll finish reading our best reverted or update story here before we jump over to this next one. The next thing we're going to set up is going to unlock confetti. We haven't gotten a confetti cannon out in a hot minute. We can do that now. We're going for paper cranes. It's paper crane time. We're at 65% of the likes goal, too. We're about to hit 400K of the 600K likes. Hey, Indigo. Good to see you. Elizabeth, my flabber is gasted. Yeah. Yep. Okay, jumping back over to it. At this point, there's a significant risk involved because this John guy was clearly taking advantage of her. She didn't know it. She thought she was just having a love affair, but this guy was siphoning things away and now tried to break into the house, wants to go through all of her stuff to look for sensitive documents here. It's clearly a lie. So you don't know what this guy is capable of. I would start installing some security system stuff if you don't already have it. Definitely make sure that you have some kind of security monitoring cameras, that kind of thing. I would be worried about the kids at this point because you don't know what this guy's capable of. And he sounds pretty freaking desperate to try to break into the house right after finding out that she's passed. So that seems pretty desperate. Brittany running hard at the paper cranes. Heck yeah. I don't, the kids too here. I mean, the son who just can't even handle talking about mom right now. I understand. The daughter bringing this up to dad, that must have taken a lot of courage to even bring it up because they had suspicions, but they didn't know for sure. And to have that validated. Now, there is a little bit of danger in dad's position here to be like, it's so great that I have somebody to talk to about this now. I wouldn't try to emotionally dump too much on your 18-year-old daughter. There's a fine line to walk there too. My goodness. Oh my gosh, guys. Holy crap. Somebody really wants to see Caden Thunder up here. Oh no, we already unlocked that one. This one is for confetti. We hit it. We hit the confetti goal already. Oh my goodness. Brittany running hard at those paper brains. Heck yes. Dr. Sweet to the number 2 spot. Actually, you guys tied. Brittany and Dr. Sweet's tied for the number 1 spot. Look at you guys go. Callie Peru, Michelle Heather, Kenny, 20, Berlioz, Adventures with Pam, Melted Crayon, Leo Named Water, Stanzella, Mama Silver, Denise Burkhardt, Candyland Fizzes, Dana 9480, Cup of Tea Daily, Aurora 5129. We've got Tonya Pimpleton, Torreira, and Friendly Neighborhood Tim. You guys are awesome. Just like record time flew through that. And now we get a confetti cannon up here too. We'll get Caden Thunder, a cake story, and confetti. And the next one we're going to do is going to unlock the astronaut helmet. It's been a hot minute since we brought that out too. Astronaut helmet. I gotta dance while I'm wearing it, right? That's like, it's a must. It's a must. They work together, Selena says. Yeah, OP should go to her employer. That's a good point. That is a good point. I don't think they actually work together though. Okay, let's rock and roll here. We got to make up some ground. Update number 2. Had to clean up some situations. Just remembered this existed, so I'd pop in to update. Some people were upset with my comment about my wife's bad texting habit catching up with her. Have to admit, emotions were and are probably still and will be high for quite a while regarding her. It was a pretty callous thing to say, I admit. The locks were changed before John showed up. When I saw, based on their conversations, that he was at the house several times. Also, the back door is in the same room as the home office, so of course I could hear someone trying to open it. I've had a credit check done on Cynthia and checked with all the local banks. I got the only account she had. Been going through our financials for the last year, and there were several withdrawals by her for a few hundred here or there a month, which it doesn't appear were deposited into the getaway account. So there's something somewhere. The getaway account did have an extra approximate $2,000 in it versus what she took out. Could be John's money, can't be sure. Cynthia hasn't worked in 2 years. We reached a level of financial stability to where Cynthia wanted to retire early and focus on being a fantasy writer. No idea where she met John, and honestly, it's beyond the point of caring right now. But she never wanted to be a fantasy writer, so she retired early so she could cheat. Didn't recognize John from the photos because most of the shots were not facially focused, sorry to say. Oof. I did take some advice and hired a PI to investigate. John, good call. He is a 40-year-old married carpenter and father of 3. Lots of people suggested I destroy his marriage or sue him, but honestly, the whole ordeal has me exhausted. I am just happy to have Michelle and Jason with me. I still go to counseling every week, and the days are getting better. Now for the update. In Cynthia and John's master plan, one of their ideas to alienate my children from me was to create a narrative of me cheating. They put screenshots of various escorts from some sort of website in the document, saying they could easily pay one to claim I was sleeping with her. What the fuck? Cynthia picked a rather large woman who looked like she had some rough years and seemed gleeful in the idea of making the children think I slept with that woman over her. Surprise, Sunday night, who was knocking at the door but that woman? She immediately tried to cause a scene and tried to make adulterous claims, but I simply said, "Did John last name send you?" And she immediately left without a word. John called me later that night and said he wanted his investment money and he knew how to hurt me. Okay. I told him we were on a recorded line, a bluff, and he was silent before saying wrong number and hanging up. Might need to start looking at an RO now. Yeah. And get an actual monitored line. And seriously, if you don't have that security installed, do it now. Comments: 1, you should just call him out. Why let him continue this charade? It's disrupting your peace. Just tell him, I saw the file, I know everything. That's how I knew you sent the escort. Although what purpose it serves now, besides pissing me off enough that I tell your wife about the affair, I don't know. I have the evidence saved. My kids know their mother was cheating. If you keep pursuing this, I will take you to court, press charges, and sue you for harassment, threatening bodily harm, and alienation of affection. Don't try me again. Amen to all of that. Knowing that you have all of this evidence on hand, why would you let someone continue to push you around? 2, he hired an escort to cause a scene to get back $2,000. Yeah, how much did he pay this escort? 3, I wonder if there's a stash of cash hiding in the house. I think so. That's why he wanted to get in. He may not know where it is, but that's why he was trying to get into the office, because the little bit that she was withdrawing from the account, she has a cash stash somewhere. He was trying to get through or get to. Yeah, I mean, what a shit position to be in. Having lost your wife, now finding out that she was embroiled in this scam mess from this guy who was just trying to siphon money from you, and now is coming to your house and then calling and threatening you and sending other people over in threatening manners too. Document everything. Document. Talk to a lawyer, get this whole process started, but you have to be documenting everything 100%. Poor OP, Macy. Yeah. The kids are being endangered now too. If they're showing up at your house and people are showing up making a scene, if there are threats being made, you've got your kids to think about too. And like we talk about often, if you're not going to put up boundaries or barriers for yourself, do it for your kids. Take this seriously for your kids' sake and run hard at it. My goodness. Okay, so that one was, will I be the astronaut if I told my kids their recently deceased mother cheated on me? I think that's one of those things you just have to play by ear. And we know more of the story now. Obviously, they already knew or had suspicions. So the point was, he was thinking about telling them. He decided not to, decided to hold off, which was the right move. And then they came to him. So that opened up the door where he could talk about it. Everything else that's happened since then, I think he has a responsibility to take it very seriously and to act in the best interest of their safety. I'd be looking at moving at this point. Woof. RO. Yes, user 638. You feel like a cheerleader. Definitely. And I think he's past the threshold for making that warranted at this point. Hey, V, baby, Jasmine E, Sarah, Friendly Neighborhood Tim, Katie, and Kaya, Gilliam, Cup of Tea Daily, Stephanie, Candy Thunder, Lee, Dr. Sweets, Katie, Sarah Bass, Donna, DJ. Also, we've got some new members of the Goshak and Fam, courtesy of Stephanie Vandermeulen, sent a gifted sub to Jasmine E, Juliet, Vasant T, Kiki Leontarakis C, and Nicole Sporn. Welcome to the Goshak and Fam to all of you. Glad to have you here. RO is restraining order. Or order protection. Beer today. Welcome. Thanks for the share there, bro. Greatly appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and bring Caden Thunder up real quick, and then we'll dive into our cake story. Y'all want to see Caden Thunder for a second here? We got Caden Thunder. We can pop some confetti while you're up here, too. Yeah. Heck yeah. Let's bring him up. Ladies and gentlemen. Caden
Hey. Yeah.
You sit here and saw me getting ready.
Saw her in my chair.
How's it going?
Did you guys hear Candy Thunder's yelp? Kind of like Oliver barking.
How's everybody doing today? It's me, Caden.
Are you the problem? It's you.
Yeah, I'm the problem. It's me.
Beans!
I want to know how everybody's doing today. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me about it. Tell me about your life. Tell me how it's doing. It's you doing.
Gotcha.
Appreciate you.
Oh, heroes wear capes.
All right. I'm trying to think of what to talk about. What you guys been watching lately? What you guys been into? TV shows wise. What you guys been I did watch the last episode of The Bachelor. I know I swore off on The Bachelor, but I had to see the ending, and of course, he chose Kelsey, so I was okay with that. I like Daisy too, but neither of them are Maria, so I'm still never gonna watch it again.
Chicago PD.
Love is Blind, Fire Country, Shogun. I want to watch Shogun. It looks really good. I'm watching Three Body Problem right now on Netflix.
Yeah, have you already talked about that a little bit? Is anybody
no,
else watching Three Body Problem? Oh, wait, Vivian.
Don't
says
tell
she
me
just
anything
finished
about it. because I'm only on episode 3, but it's pretty good so far. I'm a little confused.
Oh, you spoiled The Bachelor for someone.
I'm gonna be honest. If you're on Netflix or if you're on TikTok right now, you probably already have it spoiled. So it's all over the place. But I mean,
Spoiler alert. It already happened. Sorry.
oh yeah, yeah. Sorry though, my bad.
Sorry about that.
Spoilers.
Now it's not the
Rewatchable
time for
Rings.
petafoggy.
Yeah, it leaked a while ago. I got it spoiled before I knew too. Queen of the South. Yeah, 3 Body Problem is wild. I'm trying to get everybody in the office to watch it. I've been talking about it. It's pretty good.
We're pretty set in our ways, you know. Schitt's Creek, New Girl, Friends.
Mm-hmm. Everybody, you guys should go follow Caden Thunder on TikTok. You guys, once I hit 1,000 followers, I'll actually post something on TikTok. What will it be? Who knows? What would you guys want me to post about? I don't know. What do you know? You guys decide. Once we reach 1,000, maybe not anything. I won't do anything. There's a limit, but I'll do something. Caden, yeah, it's me. I'm Caden. Hi.
Another rap. There you go.
Another rap. All right, here we go.
It's gonna be very energetic, whatever it is.
Confetti. Just like spaghetti. Already. Steady. I'm going to sleep like I'm Freddy Krueger.
The Krueger. Yeah, that was
Putting in the hours like I'm a mover.
Oh, is it your?
Oh no, it's not
Candles.
not Caden Thunder work. That
Not
one is
Caden
just
Thunder work.
it's my burner. Don't do that one.
It's just
It's just Caden Thunder.
it's very very undercover burner you got there.
Yeah. It's just Caden Thunder. That's it, right? Producers, what's my name?
Caden.
What are you going to do if? Yeah, Tony Spark. What are you going to do if Caden Thunder gets? I'm still a ways behind Tony Spark right now, guys. We're way.
Dude, Tony's chiming in.
We're
I'll
way
tell you what I'll
behind
do.
Tony
I'll delete
Spark.
everything. That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
I'll delete it all.
He'll throw
Delete it
an
all.
absolute shit
All right,
fit.
guys, we got to beat Tony Spark.
Get this guy off here.
No, okay, no.
Shut it down.
Follow Tony Spark too, but also follow me. Do that first.
Would you like to chime in and say?
Oh man. Okay, we got to read a cake story. All right.
This is an Omega tattoo. It's a horseshoe for good luck, but it could also be Omega. Whenever I was in my first year of college, I walked by the frat dude booth and he was like, "Dude, is that like Omega? Like,
Bro.
like the frat?" And I was like,
Kadin is how you spell his Caden.
"Yeah, it's
name.
Kadin.
Yep.
It's weird, but it's cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, we got to read a cake story.
All right, bye.
Caden Thunder, ladies and gentlemen. Big round of applause. Always just bursting with excitement. This one. We have to sedate him before every live just to make sure he doesn't get too out there. He can't get too out there. Seeing double, yeah. It's just a baby Dusty, much younger version. Okay, here we go. We're going to get into the cake reward story. This will be our last story of the live. Before we get into that, let me do a little bit of this. We do have the VIP coming after the live here. So if you are a member of the Storm, about 10 minutes after the public live ends here, we will start the VIP live. Hopefully you'll get a notification. If you don't, and it's been like 15 minutes, pop back over to the profile and see if we're live then. Also, the next live we're going to do is going to be a multi-stream, which will be Sunday, March 31st at 9 p.m. We're going to be streaming on TikTok, YouTube, and that may be our last Twitch stream. We'll be picking up Facebook. Now, we do have a Facebook page. It's called The Dusty Thunder Show. We've just started it. We're actually posting content from the very beginning of our journey. So if you want to take a ride back in time with us and you're on Facebook, follow the Dusty Thunder Show page, and we're posting some of the early stuff there. It's going to be a travel through time. So there's a lot of, to me, I look at it and I'm like, that's cringe. But it's a lot of stories that if you have only recently started following this content or within the past 6 months or even year, you will not have seen that unless you went back through and just binged everything. So go follow that. The Dusty Thunder Show is what that's called. Also, be sure to subscribe on the YouTube channel and check it out. We have multiple posts every day. We have 2 compilations that go up per week. Also, the podcast episodes go there. Thunder and Spark goes there. The Piano Man stuff goes there. And there's more YouTube exclusive content there as well. You can also find the newest episode of the Dusty Thunder podcast with Beyond Beautiful, which is, of course, a great one. The VIP live, again, we'll have 10 to 15 minutes after this live ends, and we'll be doing this there. Wheel of Thunder will be going on, where the top 10 gifters from today's stream, plus 2 existing members of the Storm and 2 new members of the Storm, will go on the wheel, and we'll spin it a couple of times for some prizes. So we'll be doing that in VIP too. Okay, here we go. We're going to bounce to the cake story, and this will be the final story of the stream today. This story is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Explaining to a Customer Why Our Cake Might Taste Like Soap? Soap? Have you ever had a cake that tastes like soap? Anybody? Anybody? Chat? Anybody ever have a cake that tastes like soap? Nerd degrees? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I think, we had such a great time. We had such a great time with Beyond Beautiful in that podcast. I think we want to do a collab with more creators and bring more in and start having them as podcast guests. That'll be a hell of a good time. No. Somebody said yes. Anna, you've had soap cake? Does it have cilantro? Cilantro cake. I didn't know that was a thing. Okay, let's dive in and find out. So I'm apparently cake uneducated. I need to diversify my cake palette. I know. That's absolutely shocking information. We must fix this immediately. I, 24 female, have been working in a small family-owned coffee shop for almost 4 years. One day, a male and female couple come in as customers. Everything is normal. They order and I serve. 30 minutes later, the man came up to me and said, "This cake tastes weird. It's like soap or hand sanitizer. Why does it taste like that? I could sue if I had a reaction to this." I simply answer, "Oh, we had a couple of complaints about the same cake a couple of years ago, but it usually was the spices or the butter that they tasted that came out too strong for them. And before I can give them a new piece or their money back." The man immediately starts to yell at me, cursing that I don't believe him, that I am making fun of him, that how dare I question him. He then proceeds to yell at the customers, "She doesn't believe any of you. She doesn't listen to you. This place is horrible." He turns back to me, face fully red, and slams the plate in front of me. "Eat this cake and taste it yourself." Mind you, there was a tablespoon of cake left. I even took a photo as evidence for later. I said no, and he continued, and I kept saying no, until I said that I was allergic. He stops for that, but still yells, "I will write a very long review to the owner that this place doesn't believe its customers and how horrible the service is." And the couple left still cursing at me. I was left shocked and confused by the outburst. Later in the evening, the review comes in and they try to act like they're the victims, and I humiliated them. They even wrote to the hygiene company, sorry, I don't know what's the real title for it in English, that our shop has soap in our cakes. We check the cakes every day. We taste pieces before and after putting them on display. There was nothing wrong with them. Sure, I can see the customer's point of view. They come and comment about the cake, worrying if it has something toxic in it, and I might sound dull to them when I explain it, but was it really worth screaming for? Later, my boss comes and says to me that I shouldn't explain to customers why it might taste weird, just say sorry and give them their money back. But isn't that confirming that our cake might have soap in them? I made the bakery do a whole sample testing in their kitchen, which took them all day. And later, we will have a hygiene expert come and check our coffee shop. I made this whole mess, and both of our shops are suffering because of it. Am I the astronaut? So it's, am I the astronaut for explaining to a customer why our cake might taste like soap? They didn't care. I mean, I don't think, let me say this, OP, I don't think you're the asshole for trying to explain to them why it might taste weird to them, but they didn't want an explanation. They didn't care. They only wanted you to accept what they were saying as the gospel truth. Sorry. Never mind. They only wanted OP to accept what they were saying as the gospel truth and be like, oh my goodness, there's soap in them. Wouldn't they know what's in them because they made it? They didn't care. They didn't want any kind of explanation. They didn't want anything. They just wanted to bitch. They probably wanted their money back, or I don't know. It seemed like it escalated really, really quickly. for this guy just, not liking the taste of a cake and eating all but like a tiny little spoonful of it. That's the funny part. Must not have tasted that bad because he ate almost the whole damn thing and then wanted to bitch about it and cause a big scene. And normally if somebody's overreacting like that, it is a cover for something else, right? So he ate almost the whole damn cake and then wanted to pitch a fit. Probably was just trying to make a point or look tough or get money back or whatever. Was trying to screw over the business. I do not think you were wrong for trying to explain it. I think anytime that you can educate customers, I think it's a good thing. I think educating them is a very, very, very good thing. And what you're doing now with the testing to make sure everything is good and with the hygiene check to make sure everything is good there, I think as a customer, that's the exact kind of thing that I would want to see happening. I hope you're documenting that so that you can go back to that review and say, here are the results of our tests. We did a full testing on every single thing that we have in stock, and we had a hygiene company do a check on everything here as well. Everything checks out okay. Here are some common reasons why a piece of cake may taste like soap to some people. Boop, boop, boop. And seeing that as a response to a review as a potential customer, to me, would be like, oh, well, they handled this pretty well. This irate customer. Everybody knows that you can't please everybody, and everybody knows there are some people who are going to leave a bad review no matter what, or that are going to be unhappy no matter what. It's going to happen. So words are hard. How do you handle that customer who's not going to be happy no matter what they do? No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter what you do for them, they're going to be unhappy no matter what. It's a Kobayashi Maru, right? It's an unwinnable situation. So how do you handle it? And it seems like you handled it pretty gracefully. NTA. He likely put soap in a little bit before he left. Did he use hand sanitizer as he walked into the building? Did he use hand sanitizer before he ate? Did he go to the bathroom and use soap or hand sanitizer? It was his hands that were touching it, right? But who says it was made? I don't know. That's fire that customer, rig the test. I've never heard of cilantro in a cake, but I'm an uncultured swine, so there goes that. NTA, that's rough. But you're not going to please everybody. And again, I think OP's 24, been working in this family-owned coffee shop for almost 4 years. Sounds like it's the first time she's encountered something like this. And I think dealing with difficult people like this in a retail setting is really good for people. I think it's a character building thing. You're going to deal with difficult people the rest of your life. It's good practice to do it in that retail setting. Ginger could taste like soap too. Sure. Isaac, this is something the customer is always right, BS. Yeah, but if the customer is right here, the ramifications are that he's going around broadcasting to the whole world that you put soap in your stuff. At least having a public rebuttal to it and saying, here are the results of our test. Somebody said it tasted like soap. Here are some reasons that could be. Everything checks out totally fine on our end. I think I would want that level of control as a company. 10% from the like goal. We're at 90% right now. We're wrapping up here. We'll just chat for a second. Are cilantro and coriander the same thing? I don't know. No. Candy Thunder says, I looked at Candy Thunder. I'm like, no. Says no. It is 2024. The customer is not always right. It doesn't work like that anymore. Gwendolyn, thanks for the share there. Greatly appreciate it. Aurora, Friendly Neighborhood, Tim, Tony Spark, Katie, Fat Chick with a PH, Caden Thunder, Brittany, Chicozolo, Wolfie Shadow, Haley, Allison, Shaz, Olivia Marie, Danny, Katie with a D, and Katie with a T. Also, Koba, K-O-B-A, with a rose there too. Katie and KT, Erica Eternal, Mary, Melissa, Sarah. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much. Greatly appreciate it. Oh, I'm being handed a note. Okay, I'm not going to remember any of that. Would you like to jump on and say it? You just told me a paragraph. I'm not going to remember this paragraph of information. There you go. Candy Thunder has something to tell you.
It was not a paragraph. I just said that cilantro is the leaves and coriander is the dried seeds from the same plant. That's all I said. Not a paragraph.
It was too many words for me to remember.
But then I asked him
while listening to music in one ear. I'm like, I'm not gonna remember that.
I asked him if he talked, and then my note says, "Did you talk about Facebook exclusive posts?"
No.
Oh, I gave him a doc for Facebook exclusives. So it will be
It's already recorded, and those are going to start dropping on Sunday.
Yeah, there are posts that are specifically for Facebook. So I don't know how often we'll do that, but they're only going to be posted to Facebook. Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday.
There you go. Yeah, we got them scheduled out earlier today, and yeah, we've got a few of those. We'll throw them in kind of randomly as we get that ramped up here. But it is going to be a journey back through time as you go back and look at what's posted right now. It's like I look different. I'm sitting in pretty much everything. There's a whiteboard on the back wall. The setup here, the stream has come a long way. But do go check it out, especially if you're newer to the channel here, and you get to see our progression throughout time, which it's cool. If nothing else, it is cool to be able to see. So yes, Facebook exclusive content is there now, and that's new stuff. So that's going to be posting next week. We'll start dripping it out there. And it is, as a reminder, it's called The Dusty Thunder Show over on the Facebook side. Now we're going to take about a 10-minute reset and get ready for the VIP. We'll see you there. And thank you guys so much. We ripped through a ton of goals today. We're at 1922 with 3K. We're going to keep that up through the VIP. And if we end up hitting it there, we'll do the astronaut helmet at the beginning of the stream next time. So heck yes. Heck yes. All right, we'll see you here soon. Thanks so much. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Likes goal, 98%. Do I need to vamp for another second to get there? Here, I'll do this now.
Hey, you got there. Nice work.
Nice work, everybody. You done great. This helmet doesn't protect my beard like at all, but... All right, nice work, everybody. Very nice work. All right, thank you so much. We'll see you next time.